Greetings and welcome to my 6.4 preparation video. And before you ask, yes, the insane Gil madness seen on the thumbnail is real. But it's not my own Gil, but from the most wealthy person in Final Fantasy XIV, whose name is Ash10. You can do it as long as you keep up your market plans for a long time and always think about new ways to make Gil, but more to that later. First, you should be aware of the fact that the Moogle Tomestone event will take place until 6.4 launches, so whatever you're grinding them for, make sure to finish that endeavor before the patch drops. Definitely check out my fellow YouTube colleagues Meoni and Jolson to know what it's worth grinding and what is an absolute must to get. Links can be found in the description. Above that, for PvP, Series 3 rewards are going to end, introducing a new series with the next season. So definitely make sure to get the awesome False Monarchy set found on level 25, which can be received by the non-ranked Crystalline Conflict as well, so you're not forced to queue up for the ranked version. However, they adjusted the matchmaking just yesterday, so you might give it a try, if you're also concerned about the ranking rewards or just reaching higher ranks in general. But before I leave it unmentioned again, those milestone levels and rewards can also be received by taking part in frontline PvP matches. Especially as those provide Moogle Tomestones as well, it might be worth choosing those for the big battleground enjoyers among you. Of course, looking at the awesome cover of 6.4, you know that MSQ will be a big thing. So make sure to progress through your quests to that point to have access to the new dungeon and trial. Also, if Island Sanctuary is something you're interested in, leave your island a visit and do the necessary preparations. But being solo player content, take your time and enjoy it. Last time, Tataro's Great Endeavor brought with a very neat set, so you might want to take a look into that content as well before the patch drops, which will still require you to complete the Heavensward Alliance Raid quest series, so make sure to visit the pillars for the quest Sky Pirates that will start the whole Shadow of Mark questline. Technically, you could also start preparing for 6.45, which will introduce another stage of the Manderville weapons, but we have approximately 6 to 8 weeks between 6.4 and 6.45, so don't stress yourself too much. Just take into account that the Hildebrand questline takes at least 3 hours to complete without watching cutscenes, and I assume about 10 hours when watching them, as well as some heavy grind on tomestones. However, note here that we're seeing changes to the tomestones again, introducing the new tomestones of comedy that will replace the current causality tomestones as the weekly limited ones, while causality will be used to buy out new crafts and materials and all the gear and stuff that is currently considered endgame, but degrades with the 6.4 release. So, Manderville weapons and buying the highly anticipated and absolute expensive crafter materials will collide, which means I highly recommend completing Manderville and Amazing Manderville weapons, at least those for your main jobs, if you want to also make some decent gil with crafting materials. Alright, last but not least, make sure to complete the Asphodelos and Abyssos part of the 8-people Pandemonium raid, as this will be another big branch of the patch introducing the new tier Anabasaios, as well as the Savage version that is going to be released a week after 6.4. Especially if you're into desynthesizing, it might be worth stacking up some Abyssos gear that you will be able to desynthesize once the patch goes live. By the way, the quests are worth doing for the story enjoyers as well, as you will meet familiar characters of the main story. Okay, now to the Gil-Making Preparations. As always, I'm highlighting my best recommendations and tips to take care of all the opportunities a big patch like 6.4 will offer. But there are way more in-depth preparation videos from Ash10, Zane Lionheart or Olivia that I can absolutely recommend checking out, so click on these videos in the description to become as rich as the master of the coin himself. Nonetheless, first and foremost you should stack up as many tomestones of causality as you can, and this works for non-crafters as well, because these will be stepping down a tier and will serve as catalyst to upgrading and catch-up gear. But first and foremost for the brand new crafting materials, which are going to be insanely expensive on the first days of the patch. Expect something like 5 to 10k gil per 20 tomestones. Battle material like direct hit crit or determination will also rise in price, but I personally would not recommend to buy them out too much, as the supply is way higher than ever before, due to the massive time spans between content patches and people having optimized their materia cluster input by doing their daily A rank trains. So my personal tip, just keep as many of these clusters as you can and don't sell materia now, except you already bought them for way cheaper than what your server's prices offer right now. Therefore, just take every A rank train you can find on your or connected servers of your data center, because that is the most efficient way to check the boxes on tomestones while getting clusters and even having sack of nuts prepared for potential mounts. Last but not least, the big tips for crafters. Your top priority should go to upgrading your crafter gear to the Indagator stuff, which now is on decent prices still, but this might change with 6.4 in the same way that crafter materials might skyrocket. So better be prepared with a solid pentamelt set and make sure that you get the weapons for each crafter job too. I nearly forgot about this myself, as I just bought the Weaver ones last time. If you don't know about a solid way to mix and match materia and how all this works, check out my own Getting Started as Level 90 Crafter video in the description. Above that, no new master recipe books in 6.4, so while you should cap on scripts, it's not necessary to be too invested with that. Just remember that most materials will be completely new, so gatherers can also make a decent coin when the patch drops. On the other hand, it will be very likely that ether sands will remain the same, so you could stockpile those as well as some of the base materials used for the new alcasts that always serve as the foundation to crafted battle gear. So just be prepared for this section, as the new battle gear will be the most profitable craft for the weeks after the patch, and this might continue until the new expansion comes. So it is now where all your preparations come to a conclusion, and you definitely want your crafting and gathering gear to be up to date. The last tip I have is that there will be a new updated Extreme Trial shiny weapon, so in advance, whatever it might be, go ham on these weapons as soon as possible, and in preparation exchange your master crystal to the blacksmith and get some nasty gil for these on the first days. Apart from that, and like always, take your time with the patch and don't rush through any form of content like a madman. We definitely don't know how long it takes until the next expansion comes, and seizing the content you have could become a personal philosophy of many players. On the other hand, I will keep you updated about all the things relevant to the patch or Final Fantasy as best as I can. And of course, I will also throw out an update if anything changes with info from the live letter on Friday. Until then, have lots of fun with your preparation and anticipation of the patch. Check out the videos in the description, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep loving Final Fantasy.